Okay, welcome to the rest of my life. This is Lance Ash speaking to you personally. And I'm on my way to work. And I actually have a list of topics here for today for a change. So this episode won't be boring. Oh, birds shit all over the passenger side view mirror. And, what a mess. I don't know why they picked that one spot to shit. Oh my God, what a mess. I wiped it off as best I could. Alright, first topic. A little follow-up for you. Those jeans I picked up when I got them home, I didn't even take a look at them. And anyway, my wife took a look at them, and there's a great big hole in the crotch. But other than that, the jeans are brand new. So I got them for my son, and he just took one look and said, "There's no way you're going to be able to fix that. And even if you do, I'm not wearing them." Like, fine, I'll fix them and I'll wear them. So I did. Poked a great big hole in my thumb with the needle, and not the sharp side of the needle, the back side. But I stayed with it, and I sewed the hole up pretty well. Might need some more reinforcement later, but and they're tight. They are tight jeans. They're Levi's Buttonflies, red tag, and 3632s, which little bit tight for me, but I wore them for a little walk around the yard, and I think they're okay. I think if I wear the hell out of them, they'll fit okay. Alright, what's next here? Okay. So, this is all one great big story here. Alright. My sister's 50th birthday was Saturday, and she's staying with my mother for a while. So I went down there to give her the card, and the CD that I got for her was Steve Winwood's Back in the High Life. And she claimed not to remember this, but my memory is that she made a tape of nothing but the song The Finer Things over and over. So it's like a hour-long tape. 30 minutes one side, 30 minutes the other, or maybe it was 45 minutes one side, 45 minutes the other. I don't know. Her bedroom used to be next to mine back when we lived in our parents' house. And through the wall, all you could hear was the bass line to that song, which is repetitive. So for like an hour, you hear nothing but do 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 do. She had no memory of this. She was confused why I gave her the CD. She said, "I like that song, yeah, but oh, that sounds like crazy. I don't remember you saying that. No, I don't remember doing that." Anyway, all right. So in the room that she's staying in at my mother's house, we're sitting there. We're sitting on the bed talking, and I glance over at the table next to the bed, little bedside table. And she's got a couple of books stacked up, one of which is the Bible, one of which is the New Quiet Times Bible. I guess, all of the nasty elements of the Bible excised so that you can just read the gentle parts, the parts that make you feel good. We rescue the lamb before we break his leg to teach him not to run away again. So she had those two, and then she had a book called The Real Anthony Fauci. The twisted monster behind the good medical advice. Now, that's not what caught my attention the most. What caught my attention the most was this book, self-published book called But to Minister by Buell Cummings, who was the founder and headmaster of the private Christian school that my sister and I attended. I went there from 4th grade to graduation. My sister went there from 1st grade to graduation. All right. I just couldn't believe she had that book. I don't know where she got it. I don't know why she got it. I don't know. But anyway, I looked it up online. It's for sale on Amazon, but it is currently unavailable. And there was one rating, which was a 5-star rating by somebody who personally knows Buell Cummings. He is, by my estimation, 93 now. Okay. That school, I could talk 2 hours about everything. One of the things I want to focus on, I don't have time for all that right now, but one of the things I want to focus on is we had an assembly every day at that school, which was called chapel, where you got a sermon, and he would reveal things about his life, himself, once in a while. He didn't want to tell too much, all at once. But one of the things he said one time was, there's a blurb from the book on the Amazon page where he says, at the age of 22 in 1950, he decided that the time had come for him to devote himself to the service of the Lord, to enter the ministry, and it's a decision he never regretted, and it was the greatest decision he ever made. All right. Well, I remember him talking something about that one day in chapel, and he said that as part of the decision-making process, there were 2 things that he kept in his wallet that he decided to throw off a bridge. He wouldn't tell us what they were, but these 2 things were like emblematic of the past life, the life where he had not been in the service of the Lord, and he wouldn't tell us what they were, but he's going to throw them away. And for many years I made a joke that one of them was a condom and the other was a union membership card. But I just can't imagine reading that book for pleasure. I mean, maybe reading it to get an insight into that peculiar type of insanity. Because it is an insanity. He and his wife and a lot of the people who worked at that school went to Bob Jones University, which was founded in particular in response to not just the encroaching, you can use the word modernism, but that's too broad a descriptor. It's not just, the flappers, the roaring 20s came along and the loosening of morals. That it's also scientific progress, which starting at the beginning of the 20th century, which began to cast doubt on the veracity of the biblical account of man's origins and man's place in the universe. And I was reading some H.L. Mencken recently, which was written 100 years ago, in the 1920s. And it seemed that there was a growing awareness in the public sphere that religion was bullshit, Christianity was bullshit, that evolution was true and that there's no God. And look how regressive everything has gotten since then. Partly due to the efforts of people like Bob Jones and Buell Cummings. It's a backlash. And that school, oh my God, it's not just that they pushed a fundamentalist version of Christianity, but they also pushed the idea of the lost cause of the South. Slavery wasn't that bad. Evolution is a lie. The earth is only 5,000, 6,000 years old. There's no other life in the universe. The Republican Party is the chosen instrument of God's will on this planet. Just a whole host of crap. Oh my God, one year, I don't remember what year it was near the end of the school year, but Buell he wanted to see all the boys from like 12th, 11th, 10th grade, the older boys. We had so many boys that went to that school that were gay, that were obviously gay. And I later found out were gay. I suppose their parents sent them there to try to get them away from rough atmosphere of public school or set them straight or something. But anyway, at that time, I don't know, the school's changed since then, but at that time the lunchroom and the library were all one thing. We went in there and there weren't but a couple of lights on, and there was the glow from the Coca-Cola vending machine, and Buell gathered us all in there, and he gave us this speech. It's near the end of the school year, and summer's coming up, and you're not going to be under our control for a couple of months. And God has told me that there are several boys in this room that are more inclined to be tempted by the sin of homosexuality than others. And I just want you to try to fight it over the summer when you're not under old Mr. Cummings' purview. And it just, oh my God, it's just unbelievable. If it had just been a Christian school, you could sort of take it, but they're pushing, they're proselytizing for Republican Party candidates. Go home and tell your parents to vote for Reagan. It's the only way. The Democrats are evil. They serve Satan. It's just a bunch of crap. But the thing is, I don't have time here to convey everything that I felt and thought about that man. And him and his family, his whole family worked at the school, ran the school. His brother and his brother's wife, his own wife, their 3 children worked there. It's just crazy. But the way his mind worked, it was this old, it was so this archaic way of thinking. Oh my God, I can't even. I'll have to write an essay, I guess, and just read it. This whole nonsense. They were missionaries. He and his brother and their 2 wives were missionaries in Korea for several years. Anyway. All right. Next topic. Oh! Okay, this is a good one. The episode might run over a little bit. All right. 1994, I think it was. I had gotten sober for the first time, and but I was smoking a little pot. And when you're smoking pot, your mind is receptive to new things. I was reading Rolling Stone magazine, and they had a review of Paul Weller's second album, Wildwood. It was just a glowing review. So I decided to get it. I loved it. So I decided to get into his other stuff. Then I decided to get into The Jam, one of his earlier bands, and then I decided to get into the Style Council, and that brings us to what I want to talk about here briefly. Somehow over the weekend, I was looking for CDs to listen to in the car, and I came across my Style Council CDs. I have The Singular Adventures of the Style Council, which is sort of a greatest hits, and then I have an LP to CD transfer of the American version of the Style Council's first album. In Britain, it was called Cafe Blue, and in America, it was called My Ever-Changing Moods. And I went looking for the original LP today in my collection, and I must have gotten rid of it, which is a sort of stupid thing to do. But anyway, I was looking at pictures of the band, pictures of the albums, listening to the music, and one of the things that's interesting to me about them and bands like that is that it was a whole package. The music, their look, their clothes, haircuts, the album covers, everything was this all of a piece. It was a look. Intercontinental, or maybe European, mid-60s look about them. And it's very appealing. Even today, you look back and it doesn't look dated because it was dated at the time. Anyway, I brought those two albums with me tonight I'm going to listen to. Oh, I'm supposed to go over what CDs I have with me. Okay, hold on a second. Let's see what I got. All right, I have... Turn the goddamn bag around. He said, goddamn, it's the worst thing you can say. All right, I brought... There was a German YouTube channel called Trashothek, where they talked about bad movies, monster movies and stuff. And the guys who did the YouTube channel put out 3 radio plays on CD. So I have one of those with me. I have the House Martins collection of all their singles. I have the Style Council, The Singular Adventures of the Style Council. Then I have an LP to CD transfer, which has 2 LPs on it, one of which is the Style Council's first album, and the other is a Todd Rundgren album called Faithful, where he does very faithful covers of classic songs on one side and then originals on the other. And then I have a collection called, what is this called? Rise 13, which is, each track is a different band from the Rise Above label. And then I've got In the Groove, which is same sort of thing by the Music Cartel. It's all stoner rock bands. Each track is different. And then I've got, this is the Jam's 4th album, Setting Suns, which I've never really had time to dig into. And then, this is going to shock some people, I have Tony Child's Union album. And I brought it just to see if I could stand it. Long time ago on the Grammys, she was up for some award, and they played the video, or a piece of the video from either Don't Walk Away or Stop Your Fussing. One of those two, I think it was Don't Walk Away. And at the time, I saw that piece of video and it really intrigued me. I thought, this is great. And ever since then, I've tried to listen to it and I thought, what was it I thought was so great about this? So I'm going to give it another shot tonight. So that's the albums I have with me tonight. And just I had a really good weekend. And I feel like everything's on track. So that's about it. I'll see you later. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.